Hello everyone. In this video, I will be speaking about a crucial aspect of scientific research, which is scientific writing and journalism. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the US has recently started the Knight Science Journalism program in response to the global need of the hour of quality scientific writing and journalism. In 2019, Nobel laureate in physics Professor Brian Schmidt, Vice Chancellor of the Australian National University, addressed an audience of select students identified as future research talents and emphasized the need for an active presence of the scientific community on social media platforms. My own research institute strives to increase the accessibility of the public to science through a dedicated science public outreach program. It is a pioneer in celebrating the National Science Day by opening its doors to the lay crowd and engaging in scientific dialogue with them. Advocating science is not just a career option, but also a way of life. In print media, Nature magazine has been consistently reporting on the need for stronger social impact of scientific and technological advancements. The International Astronomical Union officially released a document summarizing the applications of astronomy. From a layman point of view, this stems from the realization that our lives as individuals in society are affected by science to a significant extent, contrary to the belief of it being an esoteric field restricted to laboratories, research institutes, and a paltry group of scientists. A recent example of how science becomes relevant to our lives is that of the coronavirus outbreak, which has led to a widespread public frenzy of getting to know more about the virus, how it spreads, its symptoms, and an urgent requirement for medical treatment for those infected by it. So many articles have been written recently trying to update the public on these developments. However, in critical situations like these, the most innocuous bit of misinformation can pose severe threat to society. Nick Clark, a Knight Fellow who is currently an anchor and correspondent, states that the field of journalism plays a crucial role in helping the public understand science. To get it right, journalists need to get the science right and then make it comprehensible to the lay public. Responsible, high-quality science journalism acts as the glue between research and society, conveying scientifically accurate information while in a way that can cater to the diverse requirements of a broad audience. This is why responsible scientific journalism is being hailed as the promising superpower that can save the world. In the absence of effective scientific journalism, science appears to migrate away from society. The society in turn raises its eyebrows through research funding agencies who then emphasize applied research as a quick fix. This, however, compromises fundamental research in the process, the very fuel that powers applied research. The result is an imbalance in the research ecosystem, which curbs scientific research output further, and a negative spiral ensues. In the end, it is the scientific community that bears the brunt for the disconnect, despite in its part trying to do its best. A glaring example of the science and society disconnect is the 30-meter telescope, the global mega project mangled in controversy and protests at Mauna Kea, one of the best observing locations in the world, but which is also sacred land to the indigenous Hawaiians. Closer home, the Indian Neutrino Observatory had similar struggles. Here, responsible scientific journalism is the only ray of hope, since it can facilitate a flow of scientific information, catalyze an exchange of scientific dialogue, and be the binding agent that holds science and society together. I'd like to conclude by mentioning acclaimed science writer J.B.S. Haldane, who tried to instill a scientific attitude towards life in the minds of his readers. He advocated that it is only through a better integration between science and society that humanity can be empowered to take well-informed, scientifically sound decisions for its holistic betterment, which, when you think of it, is the very purpose of science education in the first place. Seems like this is why eminent institutes are pointing out that the science versus society conflict can be nipped in the bud through effective scientific journalism, digital, written, and verbal. This Life Around Science channel is part of the digital and verbal effort. Thank you.